Hello, Degens! Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the Brofict one, AJ, here with some breaking news for you as the Knicks are now being investigated by the NBA in free agency acquisition of Jalen Brunson. This being reported by Chris Haynes from Yahoo Sports. Shout out to him. But essentially, let me break it down for you. NBA is investigating the Knicks for tampering and the free agency pickup of Jalen Brunson. Reports say days before he signed on the 30th of June, he already had a deal in place with the Knicks that was the 4-year, $104 million for him. Now, tampering is obviously something that the NBA has been investigating a lot these last couple years with the Bulls and the Heat, and now with the 76ers and the Knicks now. And so, obviously, tampering seems to be something that goes on in the NBA, but this one's a little bit more interesting. When you dig in a little bit deeper, Brunson's dad, Rick Brunson, he happens to be the assistant coach for the Knicks. Okay, so that's, a little bit of a coincidence there, not too much big of a deal. Brunson's agent, Leon Rose, is the one who did, Brunson's original rookie deal. But then you dig a little bit deeper, Rick Brunson, Jalen's father, was Leon Rose's first agent. And vice versa, Rick Brunson was his first client. All right, so now we're getting a little bit more in there. And then you figure out Brunson was supposed to and reported to meet with a handful of teams, a good number of teams regarding the deal and everything. But he only ended up meeting with the Knicks. Now, that's tampering is tampering is tampering. You know what I mean? I mean, you're sending the son to go play with his father, who's the assistant coach of the team. The agent was his agent, and now all this is going on. I mean, clear tampering, in my opinion. This should be an open and shut case. The Knicks are fully cooperating with the NBA in this. I mean, it's apparently not a big deal considering what we've seen in the past. You're only really going to lose a second-round draft pick no matter who the player was or how bad the tampering was. You're going to lose a second-round draft pick. But the NBA is really starting to lose control, especially in this free agency and dead period signings. They have no control. They have no control over these players. Yes, the NBA is one of the more player-oriented sports and does really take into account what the player's going through and how do we support the players and everything. But then you get in these situations like Kevin Durant, who just signed a 4-year extension with the Nets, who wants to get out of town. You got all of these teams tampering with all of these different deals. I mean, the NBA has no control. They really have no control over their players and what they can do and what they want to do. What's the answer? Tighten up the fucking ship. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. In all my times of covering sports, I have not seen this many tampering cases come about in one free agency. And that's two. That's two. I would not be surprised if we end up seeing another 3 or 4, especially if a KD deal gets done. There's going to be tampering somewhere in there. I really think this whole tampering thing is just a waste of time. Either the NBA needs to allow it or the NBA needs to bump up their punishment. Because obviously a second-round pick doesn't mean jack shit to these teams if they can get a guy like Jalen Brunson away from the Mavs. I mean, the Knicks have been dog shit for the last however many years. So it doesn't surprise me that they want to take a shortcut like this and tamper and make sure they get a deal done so they can get a guy like Jalen to come in and try to, bring some energy to the team. I don't know what the fuck the Knicks are trying to do because neither do the Knicks know what they're trying to do, and that's why they're tampering with all this crap. Regardless, the NBA needs to figure it out because they can't keep coming out with these stories of tampering, these reports of tampering, or just bad news from left, right, and center. I mean, at some point, all pub is good pub, but when it's the second story within a week, not even within a week, the 76ers shit came out on Friday. So it's been 4 days, and we already have 2 tampering cases in the NBA for free agency. That's terrible. That's terrible. That means that every team, every GM, no one gives a shit about the rules, and they're going to continue to break them until some real punishment comes down. I don't know if the NBA has the power. They do have the power to revoke trades and revoke signings. Honestly, what if that's the next step? What if you are found guilty of tampering, that deal is null and void, and that player cannot play for you, and you must figure out something else? Again, that's very hard, especially with how much money's getting thrown around, the guaranteed money and everything, and the contracts. It's going to get very difficult, but the NBA needs to figure something out to really nail home the fact that this is cheating, this is bad, this is not fair play, this isn't good for our league. But if the NBA doesn't care, the NBA doesn't care. And that doesn't seem like something Adam Silver would not care about. He doesn't seem like he would not care about fair play, as he did come out with comments against KD and what he's trying to do there with the Knicks. The NBA is a mess. It's nice that they are a players-first organization. However, we are starting to see what happens when the inmates run the asylum. And that leads to more tampering. That leads to cheating. That leads to all these super teams that end up being nothing. The NBA is going to struggle with this until they figure it out. Well, I guarantee you we will get at least one more of these tampering cases before free agency is over. And before training camp starts, NBA should be investigating about 3 teams at this point. I mean, this is getting ridiculous, but hey, we'll see what comes about of it. Obviously, as I said in the 76ers video that should be floating around my head somewhere here, you're probably going to see just a second-round pick being taken away next season, and that's about it. So it's a whole lot to do about nothing, but it's starting to become an epidemic in the NBA. With that being said, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe down below for more breaking news and all sports coverage. We do cover everything here, literally everything. There should be a lacrosse power rankings video coming out shortly by the time you watch this. But with that being said, hey, if you want to support the show, by the way, we got some sweet merch like this Degen hat right here. Show you're a Degen. Sponsor, help support the show, buy some merch. That's down in the description down below. And also follow us on Twitter, myself at Brofict1, the show at Degenerate Takes, my boy Noah at Engel Money Train for all of your best bets and locks for the day. And yeah, with that being said, I've been the Brofict1 AJ, you've been the Degens, and we'll see you next time on Degenerate Takes.